Get it? This is Life's Essential Ingredients with Jeff and a Mike, where we hope to inform, inspire, and transform lives, one essential ingredient at a time. Welcome to the show. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's a late night recording for my Pasho and I, and our 48th episode on life's essential ingredients. And I really can't believe it, Pasho, but somehow we're in 25 countries, like 256 or something cities. And man, it has been an incredible 48 episodes. And I just wanted to, first of all, thank you for being my best friend and for agreeing to participate on this crazy podcast of ours. And then secondly, just thank the listeners for tuning in. And then also to thank our guests. You know, Mike and I started this thing in wanting to help one person. And I've said this before on the show, but so many times that one person has been me. And so if there's any former guests that have been on this show that are tuning in, or even future guests, and we got a bunch of them lined up, thank you for sharing your story and for sharing your life's essential ingredients. But I am in for a treat tonight because I'm almost done talking. My Pasho said, hey, you've been talking too much in the first 47 episodes, and I'm tired of it. And I want to take the reins. And he's tired of being just the eye candy. And you should have seen him before we hit record on this one. He was, hey, which side is my good side? And he turned to the left. Then he turned to the right, and oh, they're just both good. That's just how good my Pasho is. Pasholito, it's good seeing you, baby. Welcome to Life's Essential Ingredients.
Yes. Pasho, how many cold ones have you had already? I thought we were just getting started with the cold one.
Hey, that's just how it is. I'm just excited every time we get to do this and get to see each other, and I miss you. And excited to see what we talk about tonight.
So many directions we can go, but first of all, I want to thank you for for forcing me to do this in a good way. And I'll explain to you, my Pasho, he could sell snow to a snowman. There's nothing he cannot convince you of. If he could tell you you could scale Mount Everest in 5 minutes, you're going to believe it because he's like that. He's a great guy. And you found all these unbelievable guests that just truly inspired me in my life and really made me try to become a better person. So I thank you. But going back to kind of forcing me, it goes back to our college days. I'll never forget one summer, we're sitting in the beautiful city of San Francisco, got nothing better to do. And my Pasho says, hey, man, I think I'm going to shave my legs. And I was like, okay, you gonna shave? He goes, no, you don't understand. You're shaving your legs too. I was like, wait a sec, that's not part of the plan. And we lived in this dumpy apartment. There was always about 2 inches of water in our bathtub. And sure enough, before you know it, my Pasho shaved his legs. And don't forget, he's 6'9". He's a big boy now. And I ended up shaving my legs. One of the worst decisions of my life. Unlike this podcast, was a good decision. But Pasho, I thank you for all of that.
Oh my gosh. All right. I see how this is going to go. My Pasho is just going to try and give me a little bit of a compliment and then just pull the rug out and be like, all right, this guy, back when we're in college, I still don't really exactly remember why we did that. I for sure remember it. One of the dumbest, and we've done a lot of them, one of the dumbest things that we've done. And anybody that's ever done that just one time, man, when your hair grows back, is just not good. Nor is it a good thing to do when you have hairy legs and then you actually got chicken legs like me underneath it. Everybody thought I was just on wooden stilts. Funniest thing, funniest thing you would ever see in your life. But yeah, it's part of our story, and it's fun to be able to look back and make mistakes and be like, what the heck was I thinking? And now who knows how many years ago that was, Pasho? A good 30
Too many
something.
to count. Too many to count, Pasho.
Yeah, a good 30 something. And to just be able to be in this space with you and our listeners, to be able to even think about that, and so many people, over 700,000 unfortunate people have suffered through COVID and are no longer with us. And I've been praying for you, and sorry if one of the listeners had a family member or a loved one that they lost through this. But it definitely makes me appreciate each and every day that we have. And so let's figure out this one here, Pasho. Where are we going? So you got the keys to the car.
I got something for you.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
You ready? This comes from your repertoire right here with all the guests. It's a quote from John Alston. He says, "The only thing you take with you is what you leave behind." Pasha, what does that mean to you? And what is it that you would like to leave behind?
We were having fun on this episode. And then I've kind of taken it
It is fun.
a bunch of different ways. But that's a really good question. Yeah, I hope the people that I've had the good fortune of interacting with throughout my life, whether that means, 30 plus years like you and I, same with my wife and my family, or, I was just on jury duty and met people and probably will never see them again. But hopefully people feel that this guy was passionate about living and that he tried to bring out the best in himself and in others. And he wasn't afraid to say that he made a mistake. He wasn't afraid to ask for help, and he wasn't afraid to love, which just brings some of the best times in your life and some of the most difficult. But yeah, if I can be on my deathbed and be surrounded by my loved ones, and for them to share some sort of testament like that, oh man, I will be ready to go home, my Pasho, ready to go see the big fella.
Wow, that's a good answer. That's a good answer. I like it. I like it. But Pasho, where did your love for people and helping people, when did that begin? Where did that all come from? Because I go back, and of course I go way back always with you. And I remember when we were in college, and one day you come into our room, we shared a dorm room, we're roommates. He comes in with this little kid. Don't know where he found this little kid. I figure you just pull some kid off the street. Now we're living with a little kid. Okay, it's my Pasho. You never know which way it's going to go. But at that point, you were part of the Big Brother program. And it always was amazing to me. Here I am, really just barely able to take care of myself at that point in my life. And here you are reaching out and helping out and doing things for different people, impacting people. When did that all start?
Good question. And that was the Best Buddies program. It's funny, I haven't thought about this. And that was Josue from the Mission District.
Yes.
And I was heartbroken. We connected, and man, he tore up our dorms and the whole wall. He was legendary. But I was devastated because I would go to his apartment, and then just one day he was gone. And he was only like 8. And so he, cell phones weren't in. There was no way for him to say, "Hey, I'm leaving." And I just remember being heartbroken with not being able to have his influence in my life. And so I've been just how we grew up, and how we did it. 8 brothers and sisters, in a period of less than 11 years. And my dad was a firefighter, and mom was a nurse, although for the most part of my growing up, she didn't work in that capacity because she was busy raising 8 kids. And yeah, we just always found a way to give back. And so obviously my parents just role modeled that. Yeah, dad started all kind of stuff. I mean, one of the things he was incredible. He started is, I'm not a good historian with all this stuff, but dad was a little, don't take this the wrong way, but he was a little bit like you. I don't know if he ever changed a diaper. He was a good dad, but I don't.
Wait, hold on.
Let me go with it. Let me go with it. Let me go with it. And he was a good dad, just like you, but yeah,
But
he didn't necessarily take care of us at all. And so he somehow started a babysitting class of teaching people how to take care of kids. And the thing was like a huge hit. It was a Campbell Fire Department, and he put it on and all in the news. And yeah, I mean, he helped thousands of people learn how to take care of kids, but I think he was genius. And again, I remember I have a picture of me being used as a dummy, so to say, or literal, for people to learn how to change diapers. And as I was saying, Dad, I don't think he ever really changed any diapers. I'd have to verify all this with my brothers and sisters. So if any of you are listening into this episode when it drops, reach out to me and let me know how much I'm smoking. And maybe Dad did change all of our diapers. But again, I was the youngest. I'm number 7. And so obviously I didn't see him interact with the other 6 so much because I was, just a baby. But yeah, so just that kind of stuff, and then we always had to hustle. We always had our every need met. But in order to have that met, we had to set up and take down bingo. Dad again started bingo night somehow to raise money for St. Lucy's. And so just, yeah, stuff like that. And I think we didn't even really know it, but it was always just us doing stuff and giving back. And then crazy, all my brothers and sisters, I don't think I've ever shared this on the air, but all of us went into some form of civil service of serving the community. So Margie, my oldest sister, was a psych tech for the majority of her career. Lisa is a nurse. DC was a special ed teacher. Matt, police officer. Pete, police officer. Kevin, probation officer. Obviously me, nurse. And Monica, probation officer. So everybody did something to give back. And then for me, yeah, it's just something I've been wanting to carry forward and continue to do so. And it kind of goes back with the quote that John Alston's quote of how do I want to be remembered and what do I want people to feel? Well, if I want that to be true when my time comes, then I need to take action on the daily to make those words true and come to life.
Wow, that's powerful stuff. All you guys, I didn't realize that all of you guys were in civil service. I guess I knew everyone except Monica. Nice. That's great stuff. So Pasho, I got another question for you. Right out of your playbook. You ready for it? You're at a party. You're meeting someone for the first time. And the only way you can introduce yourself and tell this person about you is through song. And besides freaks of the industry, what song would you play for that person so they got to know you better?
I'm going to go with a longer version of it because I use this one when I'm doing some facilitations because I love this question, as you know. So definitely my first one's got to be Brown Eyed Girl. And by Van Morrison, and that's from my beautiful wife, Delia, who's got beautiful brown eyes. And my second would be Isn't She Lovely by Stevie.
Oh, nice.
And those are for my 2 babies, Capriana and Aaliyah. And then my song would be I Can Only Imagine by Mercy Me. And that's a song of Mercy Me saying, hey, I can only imagine when I do get up and get to meet Jesus. And then we never ask, but when I use this in facilitating, I ask people the title of their life. And, I got to drop our C4 leaders. So my title would be C Ford. And that's it.
C Ford, like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Let's hit you real quick. What's yours?
I've been waiting for you to ask me that question all these episodes. So I got one ready for you. And, I'm kind of like from the 80s. I like the 80s music. And I think mine would be I'll Stop the World and Melt with You. Because Pasho, you know me, man. Let's just hang out, slow everything down, and let's just chill. That's what I'm about. Let's get to know each other. Don't have to do anything crazy with it. Just like this, sitting back, having a couple cold ones. Don't write down what I just said. You can't write that down. No note taken.
Take notes.
But I really think that song, captures me.
No, I never would have picked that song for you. And you have a diverse, I'll use the word playlist, but I know you don't really have necessarily a playlist, but you like a lot of different music. And I know that exact song that you're talking about. And yeah, that is, it does fit you. And one of the things that, about my Pasho, that I've always appreciated, I'll say that. And then later in my life now, I love it. And that is what you just said. You'll stop the world and melt with me. And whenever you get to spend time with my Pasho, and I'm talking to the listeners, yeah, the world is stopped, and he is 100% listening and zoned in with you and like loving whatever is going on. And yeah, so yeah, that's why I had to write that down, because I didn't want to forget that. But what a great selection that does suit you perfectly. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Pasho. I appreciate that, Pasho. And now I got another question for you, Pasho. This is all about questions.
Sure.
All right, my Pasho, you like to go off on different ventures. Most of them helping people out. Now, we're not talking about all your buying and selling of cars over the years, but you like to help people. You do. That's your passion. That's what you love to do. But the other thing you love to do is get people to come along with you to do these good deeds. What is it inside of you that makes you want to share these experiences? Because they are incredible experiences. What makes you want to reach out, especially to me? I think I get a lot of them, thankfully, such as this podcast. What is it? Why is it that you want to share that with more people to help do what you do?
That's a good question. I wouldn't say it's necessarily, and I know you're not using it in this context, but to do what I do, and I don't want to get too religious, but I do believe this, that it's doing God's work, and that's just serving other people. And so I think the more people we can get serving others, the more opportunity it creates for us to truly see the people that we're serving. And I think that's part of the challenge with what's going on in the world now. COVID has made it extremely difficult to just get out and interact and serve others. And I'm definitely a believer that time is coming, hopefully soon, for us to create a lot of opportunities to get out and interact. And so again, I know how good that feels for me personally to make connections with people that I don't know and to serve them and to do God's work. I want other people to feel that same thing, because if it can start with one and then I get you, and that's two, and two turns to four, and so on and so forth, that's just a better world. And so I guess that's the short and the long answer to that question. But that's a good question, my Pasho. Man, have you been doing a little prep? Because I thought this was just like we were just going to sit and talk.
Oh,
But
well,
like,
I had a whole intro for you, but you kind of just took the intro away from me. I had a no, I didn't. Yeah, you were hoping I had the intro.
heck no. I've always felt funny. Uh, yeah. Oh, what should I say? Oh, just introduce me as Jeff. And I'm
Hi,
good.
this is Jeff. 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 Pasho, are we going to get into the dog walking? Is that part of the show right here?
That's conscious. Maybe that's the way that we get the listeners to finally,
Might get heated.
uh, give us some feedback. So go ahead. I'll let you take the lead on it.
So, my Pasho is a big dog lover. Has had dogs for a long time, generally boxers, I believe. He did have the husky that shed it all over the place. That wasn't great during the summertime, but he was a good dog. But and also we have two little dogs that occasionally we take for a walk. But my Pasho is big time. His boy Jack now loves taking Jack out for walks. So I'm visiting my Pasho, and we're going to take Jack for a walk because when you're with the Christians, let me tell you, you ain't sitting around the house. You moving. You moving. They walking. They don't like to sit still, and they don't like watching you sit still either. It's a thing. So Pasho's going with Jack for a walk. I'm going for Jack with a walk. And what I realized is Jack is going out for a walk to take care of business, dog business. And my Pasho, to his credit, he's ready for the business, scoops it right up. But sometimes he leaves a little bit behind. And we're talking on sidewalks and streets. And one time I did make him come back with a bucket and a sponge to wipe that thing clean, because I believe it should be clean the way it was before he got there. And my Pasho seems to be in some disagreement with that leaving a little bit of residue behind is okay. So hopefully you'll get a ton of emails telling you how wrong you are about that.
So that's just the challenge. First of all, I appreciate your point of view, and you've been on many of those walks, but you got to put it in context. So our other dogs did not have the same spot where they would go to the bathroom. Let's just say that. So Jack, our current dog, is a rescue from NorCal Boxer. If there's any boxer lovers out there, NorCal Boxer Rescue is an incredible nonprofit organization that takes boxers that the owner wasn't able to take care of for one reason or another, and rescues them and then gets them to a new family. And so we're that family for Jack. Jack now was from Oakland and was on death's door. They brought him back to life, but he was used to going to the bathroom in the street, not on the grass. And so we got him, take him out, and yep, he's going to the bathroom in the street. We tried to retrain him a little bit and sit there on the grass, half hour. Jack's not going to go. He wants to be out in the street. And so, yeah, we just had to go with it, him going in the street. Sometimes when you're a good owner for your dog, you make sure you give them good food, make sure they have plenty of water. And so sometimes his stool is a little bit soft. And that's where my Pasho gets riled up, because I would use the bag, scoop it up, do the best I could. And if there would be some residue, my Pasho was correct. He wanted me to go get a hose and stuff and squirt it down, or go get a bucket and clean it up, which I did the one time. But
One time.
I would love to hear from a listener of, hey, whose side are you on? And it's not like I was leaving his stool just and didn't pick it up. So that's not even close. I picked it up to the best of my ability. And my Pasho just has a hard time. And again, not to throw my Pasho under the bus, but he does not take his dogs on walks, probably because he doesn't want them going to the bathroom. Pashito?
So I'm gonna disagree with
Yeah.
that, but I always take them for a walk after they've done their business. But we
Okay.
did take them for a walk after.
Okay. Let me ask you this,
Go
and then
ahead.
we're going to move on. I'm going to let you move on. How many? So normally I go see you, I don't know, 5, 6 times a year, usually there for a good chunk of time. We've known each other. You know, you graduated 91, I graduated 92. Not that your dogs are that old. Let's just go with the age of your dogs. I want you to really think back long and hard. How many walks have you and I taken your dogs on?
Well,
Just answer the question.
it is, but there's an explanation.
No. Just how many? The number.
The number is 0.
Yes.
But
just leave it at that. Let's just move on.
That's only because my dogs don't like you.
That has nothing to do with it.
That's everything to do with it.
You're lying through your teeth.
That's everything. Oh, the dogs like you?
No, the dogs really don't care. And our other best friend, Paul, he's still under counseling from the attack that he was under from Mike's dog. He almost lost his leg from one of the dogs biting him. But
so our dog, let me just state that our dogs are about what, 5 pounds each, maybe the bigger one's 6 pounds. And just so you know, Fudd, if he's listening, I'm sure he is, he tried to teach the dog who was boss, and the dog let him know who was boss.
It was pretty funny.
And it was a scratch. It wasn't a bite, it was a scratch.
Oh man. All right, Parker, let me ask you one question.
Okay, Pasho.
So what, if you can think back, which episode have you in this first year? We're not up on our 1 year anniversary just yet, but we're taking this time just to kind of reminisce a little bit. What episode like really stood out to you of like, oh my gosh, that person was incredible and really made a big impact on my life?
That's a great question, Pasho. And unfortunately, you know me, I'm horrible with names. I think when I first met you, it took me a week to remember your name. But I can remember what they did and how it influenced me. And you know, I know you're great with names. You know people's names in a heartbeat. You can memorize 30 names in a minute. I've seen you do it. It's impressive. Fortunately, my brain doesn't work like that. But the lady from India.
DT Sarana.
Say one more time. I didn't hear it.
DT Sarana.
DT, yes.
DT. Oh, man.
DT was so impressive. Holy cow. And when she tells her story, the environment she grew up with, being a woman in India and just making it, and wow, what she can do and change lives, that was incredibly impressive.
Yeah. No, definitely she stood out. And then I'll jump into another female guest that we had, and all the guests have been truly incredible. But this one was funny. Remember Christina Zanato, the shark dancer?
You're still stumped. You're still stumped by what she said.
Oh, well, I don't know about which, you come back to that in a second, but no, when she emailed and she was like running late for the show, she said, "Hey Jeff, I'm sorry. I'm, out on the ocean and I'm just going to be a little bit late." I was like, whoa, what? Yeah, it's just crazy to me. Haven't heard that before. And then, she was just an incredible woman doing, again, amazing work, just living her purpose and doing so to help the environment, to save sharks, and to take those messages that she learns through that work and relating it to humans and just the psychology of being a human. And I know you're not a big LinkedIn guy, Pasho, but Christina actually sends out there usually short little stories that she'll just put, from the work that she's doing with the sharks. And man, they're deep stories that always have just a great message. And so I love the the episode that we had with her, and I did think it was going to go south. I did think I was going to get bit by her.
It was close. It was close.
On that baby, but man,
you turned it around.
Yeah.
You remember her quote? You right after you came down here and you couldn't wrap your head around her quote. You have to put up barriers to break down barriers.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, I will not forget that. Still trying to process it, and I don't want to get into that right now because we're going to get anybody that's listening like, what the heck is this guy? He's not making any sense. But I spent probably about 3 weeks just thinking about that quote. But yeah, what else you got for us, Pasho? What else you got?
Oof, my man, the dancer that was on America's Got Talent,
David Paris.
Yes, his story. Yeah. Wow. And him being on the brink of death with COVID and coming back and all the wonderful things he's doing. Wow, that was impressive.
It's just, that's what I mean. And when you were asking me, hey, why do I grab people to go, really experience life? It's just all these guests, that we've had are just so incredible to give us an essential ingredient, and to add that to our life has just been such a joy, to be around that. So I'm excited to see what we do in year 2. Trying to figure out if we change direction a little bit or what we do. But we'll figure it out as that time approaches.
Yeah, looking forward to it, and can't wait. As we've been discussing the live podcast we have with some pizza in front of us with the oven right there. Oof. We were just walking out and about today, and we went by like a restaurant where they had some wood burning. They're cooking up something in their kitchen. Man, it smells so good. I was like, oh, where's that pizza oven? Let's get that thing going. That's gonna be a blast.
Any local listeners in the San Francisco Bay Area, obviously Vacaville area, Sacramento, reach out to me, Jeff at c4leaders.org. And I'm just about ready, to get this pizza truck out and about. Really been a little hesitant with COVID, but I feel like that time is getting closer to really breaking bread together and having people come to the table and just to experience all that life has to offer. Again, that's Jeff at c4leaders.org. Pashito, really excited. Our book, Pizza Day, We Rise Together, is written. It's been a whole interesting process of taking, not that writing the book is simple, but in the big picture of everything that goes behind the scenes with that part is the easy part. But that book will be released January 4th. Hopefully in mid-November, we'll have pizzadays.org, which is our website for the book. 100% of the proceeds of that book go towards C4 Leaders, which that money will go towards buying books that we'll give out at our gatherings, which are free. So yeah, we're excited and really feel like we're going to be in a good position to do some good work in serving lots of different communities and bringing people together. So pretty fired up about it, Pacholito.
Is the pizza truck going to be able to make it down here to Pedro?
It had some issues, I'm not going to lie, early. I took it to Brentwood and came back, and the check engine light goes on, and the truck's got 244,000 miles on it. But I feel like she's barely even broke in. Those Toyota Tundras, they can go up to 1 million miles. And this one was an old Toyota delivery truck. So I think she's good for another easy 250. Another 250. So yes, to answer your question, Pasho, I think in the spring, we are going to have a big gathering down in LA, probably Pedro or some other nice park area where we can invite some people to just celebrate each other and have some incredible pizza.
Man, can't wait. My Pasho makes the best pizzas. Trust me when I tell you that. He'll show you how to do it. You put it together and he puts it in that oven, does his little magic, flips it around a little bit inside, and it comes out, man, delicious. Ah, can't wait, Pasho. Couple cold ones, some pizza. What more do we want?
Exactly. Exactly. It doesn't get any better than that, Pasha. That's just melting the world right there.
I like it. Melt a little cheese, melt the world.
Yep.
Good
Yep.
combination.
Hey, with that said, Pashito, I think that's a wrap for
It's a
the.
wrap already?
Yeah.
How long have we been talking for?
I have no idea.
The answer's
Unless
too
you have
long. It's
a
always too
burning,
long.
unless you have a burning, like, I need to say this or,
I got a question.
okay.
I got a question. This is for not necessarily for the listeners because they probably won't appreciate the story, but we've had many adventures over time. We even talked about one today when my pastor came to visit us, and we stayed up kind of late, and the next day we had to go to the airport, and we were all very tired. It was early, and my Pasho, if you don't know my Pasho, if he's hungry or tired, he don't talk a lot. He's not a happy camper. And we end up driving to the wrong airport right before we get to the airport. My Pasho tells me it's the wrong airport. Separate story. But out of all of our adventures over, man, how many years now? 30 something? Has it been that long? Oh, I can't even do the math. I gotta get my calculator out.
More than that.
You know what? I'm gonna get the calculator out because I can't do math without my calculator anymore. 2021, we met in 1987. Ooh, 34 years. 34 years of shenanigans. Pasho, give me your favorite adventure we had. Yeah, that's a tough question. And just so you know, I don't think I can answer
really tough question on the air too.
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm already laughing thinking of them.
Yeah, my pastor was really trying to put me on the stuff. I'll just keep it as simple, and I wouldn't say the greatest adventure, but Mike and I played basketball at the University of San Francisco, and we didn't get much court time. Tells you how good of players we were, and so my wife was a cheerleader there, and our joke, although it's not really a joke, was she got more court time than I did, and so Mike and I would go to the Correct, which was just another gym, on campus, but there was people running. And so we'd go in there and play. And one day this guy was in there playing, and he wasn't bad. And then he found out we played on the team, and he was just kind of fell in love with us a little bit in an inappropriate way. Then he's like, "Hey, I work at this club called Southside. And if you guys ever want to come by, I'll take care of you guys." And we're in college, and so great. Probably 2 hours later, we skipped the game. We're probably at Southside, but that's a joke. But so anyways, pretty quickly, we were over at Southside, and the guy gets us in and takes care of us. And we just had, again, those weren't shenanigans or crazy trips, but just fun meeting somebody that was just a good guy and allowed us to go have a good time. And so, I know we had a lot of enjoyment out of that place.
Hey man, here's the South Side. We take a drink to the South Side. Love that place. Wish I could remember that guy's name. He was a good guy.
Yeah, I'm good with names, but that one I could see his face, but I just can't remember his name. All right, well, what about you, Pasho?
Oof. Wow. That is, I'll tell you one of my, I don't know if it's the best or the one that comes to mind is, man, might have been like the first couple of days that we were living together. We had a guy on the team, Pat Giusti. I hope he's listening. What looking back, what a phenomenal guy he was. Great storyteller, a man of the world. And he was legendary for many different reasons. But Pat Giusti was a little bit out there. I'm not gonna lie. He was a lot out there. So this is the 80s. We're talking about a lot of different music going on, a lot of different scenes going on. And my Pasho, I just met him. Might have been living with him for 2 days. He goes, he's going out with Pat Giusti. I'm like, Pat Giusti, really? I mean, right away, we heard about Pat Giusti. We met him, and he was just out there going to some concert or something somewhere. And so my Pasho comes back and he's got this jean jacket on with all these beads on the back. I'm not even gonna say hippie-ish. It was just way out there. I was like, who am I living with? Holy cow, what is going on? And I was a little scared. I was a little scared of you for a couple of minutes there, Pasho.
Oh, man, yeah, that was a crazy night, and yeah, Juicy. Oh, I wish he was listening because that was very fun. But yeah, I think it was the he took me to that con. I think it was called the Beatniks, but it was all this different. They used like garbage cans and just all natural items that people would have like at home as instruments. And then they just rocked the house. And then there was like a mosh pit that nobody was doing any dancing to the beat that was going on. It was just go in there and just get crazy. And yeah, and I go in with my jeans and like a black turtleneck type sweater that was appropriate back at that time, but not appropriate for this venue. And I'm sure people are like, what is this guy doing here? And Juicy didn't give me any heads up, but we had a good time. And yeah, came back with his jacket and looking fresh, we'll just say. Oh man.
Oh man, that's funny. I got tears in my eyes.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's good stuff, Pasho. Good stuff.
Yeah, but it's been fun, my Pacholito.
Always is, Pasho.
Yep. Listeners, hopefully some of this caused you to laugh a little bit, and always good for me just to reminisce and think back about these times, and then look forward to capturing some other times with my Pasho. And I sure hope you that are listening have one good friend, one person that you could turn to celebrate with, to cry with, to laugh with, to grow with, to go to with questions, to go to with concerns. And if you don't, definitely reach out to me, Jeff at c4leaders.org. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to build a network of people that can be there for each other. And so, yeah, C4 Leaders is coming to you very soon. With that, Pasholito, I'm going to let you get us out of here.
Pasho, first, thank you for this adventure. Man, you and just listening, most of the time I just sit here and listen, absorbing it all in, kind of like how I like to do it. And man, you are incredible. The people you find to be on the show are incredible. And if I could do even a quarter of what you guys are doing, whew, man, I'll be a positive influence on a lot of people. So I thank you with all that. And with that said, boom, there's another one. Pasho, love you, brother.
My Pasho dropped a boom. All right, I got to come back. Yet a boom, baby. That just happened. Thanks, listeners. We'll see you next week.